Most people, when they think about herbalism and plant medicine, they're not necessarily thinking about the plants that are food and the extent to which food is medicine. And so when we talk about herbal medicine and learning how to make herbal medicine, sometimes that can actually be as simple as knowing how to prepare a food. So I wanted to talk about pumpkins today because pumpkins are these amazing, nutritious and medicinal fruits that we take for granted. When I teach people about health, I always focus on how important it is to consume local and seasonal produce. And so right now pumpkins are in season where I am in Middle Tennessee. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the nutritional and medicinal benefits of pumpkin. And when we're talking about these benefits, I'm talking about benefits that you can actually receive by eating the pumpkin. And so, not canned pumpkin that you buy from the store necessarily, but taking a locally grown pumpkin and actually baking it and using the flesh and using the seeds. So let's start with talking about the flesh of most pumpkins. So there are 3 species of pumpkins that have been cultivated into food, and within each of those 3 species we have a lot of different varieties of the pumpkins and squashes that we eat today. And so for example, we have one of the species which is our standard pumpkin, but also is cultivated into summer squash and zucchini. So that's actually the same plant that's been cultivated in different ways to come up with 3 different varieties. We also have a species that creates all of our other winter squashes. So think about like acorn squash, spaghetti squash, delicata squash. And then finally we have the butternut squash and the pie pumpkins, which are from the same species, and that explains why they're all so sweet and why we prefer to use them in pies. But talking about the flesh of most pumpkins, we're gonna find a vitamin profile that's pretty important. We have vitamins A, C, E, and some of the B vitamins. And so we're talking about supporting our overall health when we get these vitamins regularly in our diet. Pumpkin flesh is also full of antioxidants, so that means that it supports our cellular health. Pumpkin is amazing for fiber, and what fiber does in our system is it supports our digestion and our gut health. It can actually help our gut to have a healthier microbiome. So all of that good bacteria in our gut can be supported by fiber. And fiber also serves to help us lower cholesterol. Pumpkin is high in potassium, and potassium is needed when we're regulating our blood pressure. Pumpkin can also improve insulin sensitivity and help to lower blood sugar. So that's a great thing to add to your diet. And then with the vitamin A and the carotenoids, pumpkin flesh can support eye health and also help to prevent age-related macular degeneration. So already we have a huge profile of helpful nutrition and medicine just in the flesh of pumpkins. But if we start to look at what is in the pumpkin seeds, we can expand that a little further. Specifically, the seeds are full of minerals like magnesium, iron, zinc, more potassium, and manganese. And they also contain vitamin E and the B vitamins. Pumpkin seeds are a very helpful addition to the diet to support prostate health. Also, pumpkins, since they contain healthy fats, they have anti-inflammatory properties. So this can support cardiovascular function. And then all of the minerals also serve to help support bone health, and especially for perimenopausal and postmenopausal women, we really want to focus on bone health as we age, since bone density can naturally become lessened through the aging process. So how do we get all the benefits out of this pumpkin? We are going to slice it, scoop out the seeds, bake the flesh. I bake at around 400 degrees for 30-ish minutes. After I cut it into small pieces, you can tell it's done because a fork will go through it easily. And then I take out all the seeds, kind of rinse them off, and I like to roast the seeds in a rich mineral salt, sometimes with garlic powder. And then the pumpkin flesh can be used in more than just pie. And I encourage you, if you do make a pumpkin pie, attempt using raw honey to sweeten it, and maybe a sourdough crust. That way we're not negating all of our health benefits by eating just a bunch of processed sugars and processed flours and all of that. So there are ways to make pumpkin healthier. Plus, all the spices we put in pumpkin pie, the cinnamons, the nutmegs, the cloves, and the ginger are highly medicinal, and I'll do another video on how to best extract those medicinal properties. But pumpkin flesh can also be eaten just as is once it's baked. It makes a great dish with perhaps butter on it, like you might eat a sweet potato. You can puree pumpkin into soups and stews. You can puree your pumpkin and then add it to your sourdough bread. There are so many possibilities. I make a pumpkin spice creamer by taking a couple of spoonfuls of pumpkin puree, adding it to my raw cream with a splash of raw honey and some cinnamon, some ginger, and some clove, and it is absolutely delicious. You might want to run it through a sieve before adding it to coffee or other beverages, just to get any remaining flesh out. But I hope you enjoyed learning about the medicinal benefits of pumpkin, and let me know if you end up eating any pumpkin this week.